All right, so how do you get to intermediate? Do lots of approaches, play a numbers game. You have a pretty fun vibe, and you show intent. If you do those things, you will get results, right? You will sleep with girls if you do that, pretty much period, right? You might not sleep with the type of girls you want to, and you might be very, very wildly inconsistent, but you will get results. All right, the question is, why is it that most guys don't get past the intermediate? Why is it that most guys don't get to that advanced level where they have choice and where the girls are chasing? Well, there are basically two factors. Factor number one, inner game and being in a good mood is great, but it will only take you so far. Let me ask you guys a question. How many of you guys think that if you got yourself in a really, really good, amazing, focused mood and got a really good warm-up on, you could go beat Roger Federer at tennis? How many people think they could do that? Yeah? All right, cool. How many people think if you got a really good night's sleep, you had your coffee, you got really focused, and you got really like positive thoughts about you could go to Cedars-Sinai and go perform heart surgery? Unless there's a heart surgeon in the room, I assume not many of you, right? So what am I talking about here? I'm talking about the fact that attitude is great, and a good attitude and good outlook will help you do everything better, but it won't let you do anything all by itself, okay? Good attitude helps with everything, but a good attitude won't get you skill, right? I think to myself, when I was first learning game, 18 years old, I could be in the best mood of my life. I could be the most positive, happy. I could have had a great event happen to me. I still, back then at 18, 19, 20, could not even come close to touching what I can do on my worst night now. Right? And what's the difference? Is 16 years of skill. Right? 16 years of learning, growing, building up understandings, building up skill, building up technique, to the point that even at my absolute worst, I can do better than I would have at my best. Okay, so this is the thing. Inner game and state and great positive mental attitude, self-amusement, all that stuff, it'll take you to a certain point, and it's amazing. It's wonderful, wonderful stuff. I fully endorse and am in favor of it, but it will only take you so far. Beyond a certain level, you need actual technique. Next thing is something I call leveling. And this is absolutely huge. Who here knows what leveling is? Show of hands. A couple of people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay. So this is something that the more and the deeper I get in game, I'm starting to think this is like everything. Like leveling is everything in game. So I'm gonna explain to you kind of what leveling is. A little bit of a long-winded explanation, but stick with me, okay? So leveling is something I learned from playing poker, all right? In playing poker, what happens is you learn incrementally. So when you first start out playing poker, you look at your cards and you can kind of figure out if your hand's good, and that's about it. You're like, oh, I have a good hand or I have a bad hand. And you're like, oh, I'll bet a lot because I have a good hand. That's as far as you're thinking. And at first, if nobody else can figure out if their hand's good and you can figure it out, you'll probably win. Then you get to a point where it's a little more sophisticated. Everybody can figure out if their hand's good. So now you have to go deeper. Now you have to go like, okay, is my hand good? And then is his likely hand, the other guy you're playing against, is his likely hand good? Right? And that's one level deeper. And if you can think on that level, you'll beat anyone who's a level down. Right? And then everyone can get there. You go another level up. And you say, okay, is my hand good? Is his hand good? And then you say, does he think, what does he think I have? Does he think my hand is good? Right? And so you're thinking a level deeper and a level deeper and a level deeper. And every time you level up, you're going to completely obliterate the person that's playing one level below you. Does that kind of make sense? Okay? Now, when you're playing poker, most of the time you have to sit with someone for a long time to figure out how they play. But there are certain things they can do. Like certain hands where when they play that hand, you know exactly what level they're on. Like they play a hand a certain way and you're like, that guy's thinking about his hand and my hand, but he is not thinking any deeper. And as soon as you figure that out, you automatically can just beat that guy every single hand for like the rest of your session. And you just own him for life, okay? So once you figure that out, you own him. You know exactly what level he's at, okay? Now, it's kind of a long-winded approach to explaining this, but the same thing happens in game, where there are certain things you do that tell the girl exactly what level you're at, okay? And I'll give you guys some examples. One example is, say that the girl's walking down the street and you run up really fast, jump in front of her and go, hey, stop, okay? Now think about that behavior. On one hand, that says you're assertive, says you're confident, it says you either don't have a whole ton of approach anxiety or at least you have enough conviction and like something about yourself to get over your approach anxiety. So it says you're not a super low value guy, right? You're not like a 4 or a 5 or a 2. You're a decently high value guy. I'd say like 6 or a 7 at least, something like that, right? On the other hand, it says very convincingly you are not a 9 or a 10. Because think to yourself, Could you imagine George Clooney doing that? Absolutely not. It doesn't make sense. And so here's the real mindfuck of game. Say you do a behavior that levels you at about an 8, right? It puts you at like level 8 in the girl's eyes. Well, a girl who's a 6 or a 7, she would dream of a guy who's an 8. That's her ideal. Because every girl wants a guy that's just a level or two above her, right? Just a little bit like better than her, but attainable enough that she feels comfortable, right? A girl that's a 6 does not want a guy who's a 10 because that's scary. That's terrifying for her because she thinks he'd cheat on her all the time. So if you talk to a girl that's like a 7 and you go in and do something that's leveling at an 8, it's an honest indicator, an honest signal that you're at an 8, she will absolutely love you for it.